G'day, my name's James Dickey. On my last video I took you through the core bracing sequence where I showed you how to set your spine in a neutral position and how to maintain that neutral position. Today I'm going to go over what you can do with your arms and legs, and I'm going to give you 3 simple principles that you can take and apply to any exercise and help improve the technique with which you perform those exercises. So, those 3 principles are all going to be based around the idea of creating torque. So all torque is rotational forces. So there are 2 ways to create torque, either via internal rotational forces, so forces going towards the midline of your body, or via external rotation forces, so forces moving away from the midline of your body. So, first rule or first principle, whenever your shoulders or hips are in flexion, so that's for shoulders or hips, you want to create torque via externally rotated forces. So if you've ever heard the cue, bend the bar in half or spread the ground with your feet, that's what these cues are trying to achieve. They're trying to get you to create torque via external rotation, by producing force away from the midline of your body. So some exercise examples could be if you're performing an overhead press, your shoulders are in flexion and you want to create torque via external rotation. An example for your lower body could be if you're performing a squatting movement, you want to create torque via external rotation, producing force away from the midline of your body when you squat, so your hips are in flexion. If you've ever heard the cue knees out when you squat, this is exactly what that cue is trying to achieve. So, second rule, when your shoulder or hip is in extension, you want to create torque via internal rotation. So an exercise example for your upper body, your arms, could be when you're hinging back to jump and your arms come past your midline, you allow them to internally rotate slightly to get a little bit more range of motion, and then when your arms flex again, you go back into external rotation at the top when you're actually jumping and projecting yourself through space. An example for your lower body could be when you're in a lunge position or when you've just gone from a split jerk. On your front leg, your hip is in flexion, but on your back leg, your hip is in extension. So on your front leg, you want to create torque via external rotation, but on your back leg, you want to create torque via internal rotation, so creating force towards the midline of your body. So that's the second rule, and the third rule is simply an exception to the second rule. So when your shoulder is in extension, but your elbow is in flexion, you want to create torque via external rotation. So an example could be if you're at the bottom of the push-up position, instead of allowing your shoulders to internally rotate, where you'll see your elbows come up, you still want to maintain that external rotation that you had when your shoulders were in flexion at the bottom of a push-up position or a pressing movement, such as performing a dip on parallel bars, for example. So, those are 3 simple principles that you can take and apply to any given exercises. Could be the exercises I mentioned, could be something completely different, just following those same movement patterns. And you can use these 3 simple principles to improve the technique with which you perform those exercises. Alright guys, thank you very much. If you want to learn more, leave a comment below or send me a PM on my Facebook page. If you liked the video, please actually leave a like, guys. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.